How can new attorneys or even law students be supported in developing a growth mindset and combating maladaptive perfectionism, especially in the high-pressure environments that reward flawless performance? How can the bad habits be prevented from developing?
I love this question because this is what is asked by a lot of the students and the new lawyers. And here's where I think that the distinction between perfectionism and what I like to call big picture perfection seeking comes in, because big picture perfection seeking, we're striving for just as high standards as perfectionists do. But unlike the perfectionists, we accept reality. We accept that sometimes mistakes are going to happen, and sometimes we are not going to be able to say yes and do everything to the highest of our capacity. Because I think what's often not told to people is they say you can't make mistakes. You must say yes to everything. But what they're not saying is, but you also must be doing everything to the highest possible standard. So will you get dinged if you turn down an assignment? Yeah, probably. Will you also get dinged if you say yes to way too many things and therefore it is physically impossible for you to do your best work on them? Yes, and probably you'll get a bigger ding for that than if you say, actually, I'd love to help on this thing, but I'm really, really beyond capacity right now. And I know that I will not be able to do this task justice or the other things on my plate justice if I take it on. So I think giving them that reality of you're between a rock and a hard place, that's one thing. And the other thing that we can do to really foster a growth mindset is not telling people that mistakes can absolutely never happen, because recognizing that that's ridiculous. Because telling people that mistakes don't happen doesn't prevent mistakes from happening. What it prevents them from doing is surfacing mistakes when they do happen so that they can be addressed as quickly and completely as possible, and learning from those mistakes when they do happen. So if we train people to understand, we really don't want mistakes to happen, but here when they happen, here's what you should do, and here's how you can learn how to navigate those processes. And here's some examples of challenges and struggles and mistakes and necessary trade-offs that the people above you had to learn how to make intentionally and handle artfully and tactfully, so that you at least have that wherewithal to handle them when you're going through them. And so I don't think we're doing anybody a service, including our clients, when we say everything must be absolutely perfect, no mistakes ever, and say yes always, because that's not the reality that we're living in.
Right, and I think that's important, that you create sort of a permission structure for especially the new lawyer to understand that they have to choose sometimes, and that it can't just be yes to all. Yeah. And reality is that mistakes get made, and you have to figure out, how, now that that's the reality, how do I go forward and address them so that we minimize the impact of that and hopefully reduce the chance of it ever happening again.
Absolutely, because show me one successful lawyer that has never made a mistake, and I would like to study them.
Right. Well, they wouldn't be of the human variety.
Exactly. That's why I say I would like to study them. And I will say, going back to my own clerkships, the first judge that I clerked for was, oh my God, I think just one of the biggest powerhouses I've ever met or worked for. Highest possible standards one can imagine. And the first thing that he said to me when I came to chambers is, we make mistakes all the time. The most important thing is that you tell me when this happens so we can handle it, because there's nothing that we can't, handle if you tell me, but it's when we try to cover up mistakes or we hide from them that the worst case things happens. And especially from, a malpractice standpoint, this could not be more true for lawyers in particular.
Right, and that's great advice.